your family being in franchising, owning an iTrip for 14, 15 years. Can you talk about kind of everyone's curious about the lifestyle that franchising gives you? Can you talk about how your father was in corporate America for 20 years, then became a franchise owner? What did that kind of do for the family in terms of the lifestyle? What did life start to look like? Was he working other jobs on top of being a franchise owner, pursuing other passions, other interests? And then what was kind of his transition out of corporate America to a franchise owner?
Yeah. So the transition was really interesting. And it came at a great time. So he was traveling a lot with corporate America. Traveled every single week for a few years prior to making that switch. So he was always gone back on the weekends, and really took a toll on him. So that was his lifestyle. And then you had the stress of being an upper level manager on top of that. And manufacturing is not a stress-free environment by any means. So the stress was starting to pile up a little bit. And it was what he had done for 15, 20 years prior to that. Just always been in manufacturing. So it was a scary transition, but he ended up taking one year to decide what he wanted to do. And again, found the iTrip opportunity, but did not want to do anything additional to that. So he didn't work another job. He's one of those guys that is fully dedicated. So when he jumps into something, he jumps in, both feet in,
Yeah.
and it's 100% his prerogative. And that's really, when it comes to the franchise model, I think that's kind of what most franchisees or franchisors are looking for, is that full-time, someone that's looking to be 100% dedicated. But there's plenty of opportunities out there that don't. He just wanted to be fully in and really work the business, and he was able to grow it and scale it very quickly in the first year.
Mhm.
So he was, had a great level of success by doing that. And I think that's probably the biggest benefit of
Yeah.
being fully dedicated to the franchises, that you can really you can jump in full effort and grow and scale quickly. That's how you're going to get that ROI. That's how you're going to start to really
Yeah.
make some money. So that's how he got into it.
That's powerful. And one of the things I always kind of talk about with candidates as I'm speaking with them is really, what do you want your life to look like in 3 to 5 years? A lot of people, they think if they're in corporate America for 10, 15, 20 years, they can really just throw, some money at something and then it's going to make them $500,000 a year.
Right.
But if that were the case, literally everyone, half this country, everyone in finance at least would be a billionaire. And we know
Yeah.
that's just not the case. So the reality is, if you want to put in just, 6, 12, 24 months of heavy lifting, really ramp up the business, start to put the resources in place so that you can start to live that life you want, it really is a reality, but it's just that you have to put in that legwork in the beginning. So I think it's just a good point of how your father was ready to go all in with the opportunity. Whereas a lot of people where I talk to, they're in corporate America for, especially, for 20 years, you had that heavy 401k, you had those benefits. It is a much bigger risk to kind of take that leap of faith into franchising. You're leaving a lot behind. A lot of people are weighing, what am I making my annual salary this year? How much would I be making this franchise opportunity? But you really have to evaluate when you're in corporate America, you're working for someone else. Every year you're kind of just working for maybe a little bit bigger of a paycheck. And you really never know with an economic cycle. Age discrimination now is pretty bad in corporate America, but having the resources when you don't necessarily have to worry about these in franchising, and you're able to really craft the life you want. And if you want to make more money, put in more work or put more resources in place. But all these operations are so scalable where you can start with a single unit, you can do multi-units, area territories, but you're not limited on income by any means. They look at the demographics, they look at the territory. So you'll have a complete picture of what your financials will look like. You're going to see what the brand looks like. You're going to validate the opportunity. So for anyone that's kind of thinking, oh, my income's maybe tapped in franchising, that really couldn't be further from the case. A lot of times people weigh, I'm making, 150K in corporate America. What's my salary going to look like in franchising? But you have to realize that income in franchising is really untapped. So you can grow that really as much as you want, and that'll be validated as you do speak to other franchise owners. So I think
Yeah.
that's just a very, very powerful statement, that what you said. And another thing, as we talk about how your family sold the business, you're not only working for yourself, making whatever you want, putting those resources in place, but you're building up a valuable asset that eventually you can sell and really create these generational wealth